Well, oh my goodness, it just went live right off the bat. Isn't that just amazing? So I have discovered a spiritual practice with the card because, okay, so for the last month, oh, 7 minutes, I have to go turn the stove off. For the last month, we have been going through adrenalized central. It's been really intense and it's kind of fun if you're ADHD, but then you burn out. So I burned out. And yesterday I went up into the mountains and I laid by the Krueger River and found this little nest in the roots of the pine tree. And it was just quite magical. And I just spontaneously did this practice with the cards, which was just really strange. It just came to me. So I thought I want to offer that to everybody because it was just really cool. Hi, Jeannie. How are you? So I'll tell you what the practice is, and then I'll probably tell you again, and then I'll give you an update on my life. But no, let's see. My guides are saying give the update. Okay, so the update is that it's my birthday today. Oh my God, it's my birthday, and I do love purple. Barely surviving the retrograde here, right? And I was born with Mercury retrograde, so I'm kind of liking it. But okay, so we were asked to vacate the 5 acre 100-year-old farm where we have been staying. Thank you. So yeah, technically I am beginning my 60th journey around the sun, even though I just turned 59, because whatever age you turn means you've just completed that turn and you're starting the next, which is kind of weird to think about, right? Because when you're 2 months old, you're not one yet, right? So you're kind of in the zero place. And then when you're one, it means you've completed the first circle. So anyway, I'm starting my 60th. So yeah, we were asked to leave, threw us into crisis, blah, blah, blah. Past life regression with Dela, which brought a lot of clarity to what was going on. And now I'm like Wayne Dyer's last book that I keep talking about. I can see clearly now, that's the title of it, of why this makes so much sense. And so now the latest is that our neighbor 2 doors to the south, Kathy, she's a vermicompost expert. She's been a dear friend. First time we sat down together in her living room, I was like, you were that Russian guy. You were that Russian guy from that Lifetime with Stuart where it was like really hard and there was all this deprivation and shit. And you were a really good friend. And she's like, oh, okay. she's a Christian, but she's very, very open-minded. Oh my God. My friend just wished me a happy birthday that I have just been thinking about saying I need to say goodbye to her because we are leaving. We might be moving to Michigan and maybe sooner than later because I found this fabulous house in Bel Air, Michigan for $127,000. Yeah, $127,000. And it's like less than an hour from Lake Michigan. And there's coffee shops and yoga studios in that town. And like, it's, talk about you fixer-upper. But that's the idea, is that we can fix. And then maybe we can start to flip houses there. I don't know, but we can't afford to live in Colorado anymore because the average base price for an entry-level house here is between 450 and 500,000 for a brand new little family just getting started. So the divide is happening, and more people who have lived here their whole lives are like, I can't afford it anymore. And God said, move out. There's something much, much better for you. And I don't know if this house is it because Kathy said we could live in her basement for the winter. And then maybe we would move in the spring. And I'm feeling like my assignment, my 49 years, I think they're up. Yeah, I've been here for 49 years and that's 7 cycles of 7. So I'm like, oh, all my network is here, all my best friends, blah, 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 all of it. And I'm like, you know what? I just kind of feel done. So I'm trying to give myself time. I think the winter would give me time to really acclimate to this enormous change in my life. But and then we have to sell this place. And who knows if there's even a market for that. But I'm like, I am so aligned with miracles right now. I know everything is going to work out and we're just going to get better than expected. And I feel like God's like, you know what? You get to live on your Jupiter line now. You're done with your Uranus line. Does anybody know an astrocartographer who's actually affordable? I know of one who's like $200 for an hour. And I'm like, I'm not in that market yet. So yeah, this friend that I was just thinking about, she decided she wasn't my friend anymore because of who I voted for. And it was very sad. And I'm like, I never did anything to her. I just loved her. Well, she's come back around and now we're friends. Apparently, she knows it's my birthday. So that's, wow. Facebook probably told everybody. Anyway, so here's the spiritual practice. So I was laying down next to the river and I just felt the need to open my hands. And so I'm laying there and I was like, what if I am laying on the card spread and I'm laying in the 7 of Diamonds section? And so naturally I went down to the Saturn line because I was like, that's the real estate of the 7 of Diamonds, right? Is Saturn, Saturn. So I laid there and I was like, what if I look at my Mercury and my moon? Okay, that might be reversed for whatever, because if you're laying on the spread, the descending moon is going to be in your left hand. Anyway, I drew this ridiculous picture of myself. And then I did the 7 of Diamonds, and then I did the 9 of Hearts. And I think that you could try both your karma cards, but then I got the composites for the Mercury and the moon, or the moon and the Mercury. You know, if you're thinking of ascending or descending, it gets rather confusing, but nonetheless, I'm laying there and I had the time, so I did the math. And when you add 7 of Diamonds to 9 of Hearts, it's the 3 of Spades. And I've always said, never compare yourself to the 3 of Spades because they're going to out accomplish you every time. Okay, Maxie, there you go. And so could it be that I am supposed to be this achieving maniac? Off. Okay, everything's off. My eggs are cooked. Stuart's coming home soon, and then we're going to go up into the mountains. So when you add, okay, go to where your card lives. So for Jeannie, that would be the same as 5 of Diamonds plus 9 of Diamonds. She has that unique situation where her planetary ruling card is also her karma card. But like, if that's not the case for you, go to the spiritual position. Try this first. I'm just curious what this works out for you guys. Gosh darn it. Oh, here it is. So how does this work out for you guys? Someone volunteer. And if I don't get a volunteer, we're going to use Jeannie, but it might be a little confusing because I don't know. But anyway, go to where your card lives. So for Jeannie, that would be, oh, this is different. Okay. Lore Master, hey, 7 of Clubs. Okay, so Lore Master, 7 of Clubs. Go to the Jack of Spades position next to the 8 of Clubs because that's where your card lives. And then add it to the Jack of Spades and see what you get. So you're just adding it to the karma card that is renting out your space. So what would that be? That's 20. The 7 of Clubs is 20 and the Jack of Spades is 50. So that's 70 minus 52 is 18, which is the 5 of Clubs. Yeah. Okay. So Lore Master, tell me this. Grumpy, hi. How do you feel about the 5 of Clubs? And if you are one of the fixed or semi-fixed cards, go to one of your personality cards to take a look at this. Or you can go to your planetary ruler. Unless you're a Leo. Oh, she loves my outfit. So I've been taking videos of my outfit. I've lost 15 pounds since April on the keto diet. And then I go off the keto diet and I just munch on all the carbs for a day, which is so nice because you don't have to feel this terrible restriction. And then everything tastes fabulous. And then I gain 3 or 4 pounds and then I lose it all again. But my head is so clear. I feel transformed. Okay, so Lore Master, just tell me, how do you feel about the 5 of Clubs? As a changing mind, my nemesis within my own head. And it's your Venus card in the spiritual spread. So trying to figure out what you want and what you like and how you enjoy leisure. And is research just a pleasurable habit for you? Like, you are probably the learner, right? Okay, so let me give you, like, the 3 of Spades feels like a kind of nemesis for me because it's the word achievement and responsibility and putting Jupiter and Saturn together and being a grown-up and actually accomplishing something with your life. And I'm like, oh, I hate all those words. I hate them so much. I have a particular issue with them. So maybe we're coming to a theme here. I think that the deeper esoteric meaning of all fives is presence. So, five of clubs would be meditation. It would be not the snapshot of the four of clubs, which is a fixed set of rules or ideas, something that you can contain, that you feel contained by, and it gives you a sense of security. These are my beliefs. These are the rules. And we all need that to function on Earth. We give people a lot of shit for like getting stuck in the rut, but you can't be just changeola all the time, or you'd be kind of like schizophrenic. You have to be able to take a snapshot and say, this is what I believe. And then as a king of clubs, stand in that. And you need to have the ability to open your mind. And that's why 4 and 5 of clubs are karma to each other, because you need one to have the other. They need to be in relationship. So this 5 of clubs would be take a deep breath and see the mindfulness, not the snapshot of the ideas, but presence. Things like going into the gap, practicing listening to the silence. Have you considered taking the training for remote viewing? Not only because that is one of the funnest things you could ever do, because we can all remote view and we all do it all the time. You do it the best when you have the least investment. But what if you took that training, and as John Vivanco told me, he's like, this training is a gateway. It's a gateway to all the Zen insights of who is here looking out from my eyes. Like, it eventually gets you to that place. I like to think that I am somebody, so I'm not ready to go there yet. Like, I'm nobody. I'm just pure consciousness. Yeah, I am, but I have a body this time around, so I'm supposed to be particular. More meditation is always needed here. Yeah, especially with the 7 of clubs. I mean, it is painful to be the 7 of clubs because you're so sensitive and you're so insightful, and the capacity for negativity is there, I don't know, to kind of an extreme degree, because there's this incredibly sensitive level of perception going on. And there's a lot of shit in the world and in ourselves and an ego. And it's like, when you're a 7, you're more likely to observe it. But there is a contrary and balancing cheerfulness about 7s. Have you noticed that? Okay, feel what's going on in your body as you do so. Oh, this is fantastic, Jeannie. The 5s all need to go out and physically move around. Right. The Vitruvian man, 5. The 5-pointed, the human. The 5s all need to go out and physically move around. They need to ground by literally being in the moment. So going out and not just knowing the flowers are there, but look at them, smell them. 5 senses. Feel what's going on in the body as you do so. My partner's also a 7 of clubs. Then when you go back to your worries, the 7 of clubs, you'll have a clearer mind. Movement is key for all 5s is key. Okay, so that 5 of clubs is kind of a nexus for you. And it would be for her too. So that's really something to think about. Yeah. Oh, that's so true. So when I went over to Worm Lady Kathy's house this morning at the end of our time together, I was walking away from her in the horse pasture, and suddenly she goes, "Happy birthday!" And I started to just dance around, and I was pirouetting and jumping and being a ballerina, and I was like, I should do that every day. It's so cool. We really should. We should dance. Dancing is the fastest way to shift your energy. As a 5 of diamonds and the 7 of clubs moon card, I feel you. Yeah, I was just going to say that. 5 of diamonds really reflect that, the cheerfulness, the inherent capacity for cheerfulness with that 7 of clubs in their moon position. But they can also, dive deep. I mean, they're hyper perceptive. Okay, so does somebody else want to volunteer their birthday? And we can do this for you too. And I don't know what I would name this, but mine is the 3 of spades. And I would say that it's something that, it's an identity that I need to begin to take on and say, why is this not me? Why could I not be this? Lore Master, why can't you be a meditator? Why can't you be someone who's incredibly present and mindful? And don't you find that The thing that's under your saddle that's irritating you, the sand in the oyster, it's making a pearl. The thing that you say that you're not, and it really bugs you, it's got your attention. And so how can you flip that around and say, maybe my perception of myself is a little off here? So, Jeannie, if we add your 5 of diamonds to the 3 of clubs, who is paying you rent, then you have 16 plus 31 is 47, which is 46, 47, the 7 of spades. Is that right? Okay, now that's very interesting. 7s and 9s. Well, 7s and 9s, yeah, I think, God, that woman who used to write those astrology books back in the 80s and 90s, Linda Goodman or something, she has a whole chapter on 7s and 9s. It's crazy that as a 7 of clubs, your Venus is the Queen of Spades, the card of self-mastery, and you've attracted a mirror of yourself. Oh my God! Okay, when I did this work, I found such a crazy repetition of these cards because if my composite is the 3 of spades, that's interesting because that's the karma to my descending moon. I have 6 of diamonds next to the 9 of hearts. And the 6 of diamonds shows up again because it's, well, yeah, 6 of diamonds, but the 3 of spades sits on top of that. So it's like I've got her coming and going. I noticed a lot of repetition in how cards kept showing up, and I was like, oh, okay. So, Jeannie, yeah, and that's my ascendant card and Jupiter card. A lot of my karma has to do with myself and past life shit. I've had Saturn as the ascendant in Sagittarius. So that's related to the 7 of spades, right? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. It's your Jupiter card and it's your Mercury card from your 9 of diamonds. I would say that just from an external vantage point, looking at 5 of diamonds, and one of the issues that they have is that they're kind of slippery all over the map. They're colorful, playful, they need a lot of stimulation, they're bright and happy, they can fall into the role of being caretakers and not do the work of being who they are. And the 7 of spades is doing the work of developing that spine, that clarity, the kind of secretively self-righteous, secretively judgmental, right? And I've seen this in 5 of diamonds, but the real work of this, see, the virtue in that is that it's about becoming really solid in yourself. And so not quite so much the slippery, but someone with conviction, someone who has a very deep sense of the right way to do things. The 7 of spades, I call it the righteousness card because they're about the right way to do something. And so, yeah, they can be assholes about it. Anyone that's got that 7 of spades has the capacity to be an asshole and very preachy about something. It's my Uranus card. So in a way, it's my genius. Oh, I know how to do it. And oh my God, my husband bears the brunt of that all the time. But he's got the same thing because he's the 3 of clubs, 9 of hearts. So we both have that. Ugh. So anyway, but the real work of it is to just stand up straight and solid and have that subjective clarity within yourself of like, I know how I need to do things. I know what the right way is for me, and I'm going to be unapologetic about it. And you can be gracious about it. And I think there's a pendulum in there that 5 of diamonds have to work with. So let's see if I'm on the mark with you. So true, Jeannie. My lessons in love have been about just that. Attracting the mirror. And Grumpy, we'll get to you. Self-mastery, right, talking about that Queen of Spades. Yeah, and that's also who holds you accountable. Do you have an introjected female voice that holds you accountable? You know, or do you leave it all up to the woman in your life to be the bitch? Ooh, that's kind of harsh, but yeah, especially with the Jack of Clubs personality card as a club male. There's a tendency to abrogate responsibility unless you have a lot of it heaped on you at a young age, and then you like, okay, Jeannie says, and Lore Master, I didn't mean to insult you. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get kind of, the hard edge. The Seven of Spades is the card of faith. We struggle with that, but a lot of our development requires faith. So you can move into the power of knowing the difference between what is attainable and what isn't in the, I would say cards, what isn't in the 8. Yeah, and I've seen them like that with it being a Jupiter card, they do have the gift of faith. Like they know things are going to work out and boom, they just move forward. Yeah, my friend Jess up in Montana, 5 of Diamonds, Edgar Casey's birthday. Yeah, definitely. Just this confident forward trajectory, foot on the gas. I'm gonna make this work. Yes, when we move from the 7 to 8s, which is Saturn ruled. Right, and the 7s and 8s have this huge karmic relationship anyway, because the 7 of Spades karma card is the 8 of Hearts. So there you have it. Okay, so Grumpy, if you were to, okay, when's your birthday, Grumpy? And we can look at your planetary ruler, or we can look at the whole karma setup with your King of Hearts. I'm getting a hit that we should do that. My Saturn card, 7 of Clubs. So the cards that they have the same number as their Saturn, like the 5 of Clubs has the 5 of Spades as Saturn. The 7 of Clubs has the 7 of Spades as Saturn. What do you think that's about? It's like looking at yourself or your frequency from, in both cases, it's the club going to a spade. And because of that whole king thing that I figured out, what you need is the King of Clubs to get to the spade. So if you add the King of Clubs to the 5 of Clubs, you get the 5 of Spades. The kings will take you up a suit or 2 or 3 or 4. So the King of Clubs means mastery of your own mind, growing up, and as a club, graduating from that Jack to the King of Clubs, taking responsibility for your belief system. That's the whole big thing, taking responsibility. And then saying, okay, this is my truth. This is my reality. Some things, like, I don't like that phrase, my truth, because, some things are just real, right? But in this sense, the King of Clubs is like, I honor this within myself. I don't need to persuade anybody. And the ego King of Clubs needs to convince everybody. They're like, it's not obvious. But the grown-up King of Clubs says, oh, I really honor you and your path. This is my path. I'm not going to compromise on it. Subject to change, but it's my path. So when you're really on that, then you can get to the 7 of Spades. How does that figure for you? Saturn for us all is about the contracts, 2 of Clubs. So in order to enter contracts, we need to know the difference. Yeah, she's talking about the 5 of Diamonds. And that's her, and it's communication too. Clear communication, and it's also self-talk. I think 5 of Diamonds are very good at communicating and knowing their own truth and stuff like that. But I think it's kind of dicey. But the contract thing, that makes sense. I can really see that. Always great to chat with you in chat, Jeannie. Gotta run. Oh, okay. Thanks for participating, Lore Master Cat. Thank you for letting us look at your cards and stuff, and for opening up yourself. Okay, so Grumpy, 9 of Clubs. Okay, so if we look at where the 9 of Clubs lives, it's here in the 6 of Diamonds real estate. So we would add the 9 of Clubs to the 6 of Diamonds. To 6 of Diamonds, which is 32, and 22 is 54, which is 2 of Hearts. That one comes up for me a lot too, actually, as a Moon Mercury composite. My Moon Mercury composites are the 2 of Clubs and the 2 of Hearts. Like the on either side of me. So when you're laying down doing this meditation, if you want, you lay down and open up your hands. Okay, figure it out on paper beforehand, and then just feel those cards in each hand. And one is ascending and one is descending. So no matter which one you choose for which hand, just feel it. And I just kind of went into a meditation, and it was like, oh my God. So all the twos for me are like, what does this mean? Does this mean that I'm ultimately relational? But anyway, going back to Grumpy. So 9 of clubs plus 6 of diamonds, 2 of hearts. So how do you feel about that 2 of hearts? Okay, Grumpy, it is your Mars card, and it's your ascending Jupiter plus. Mars and Jupiter, action in terms of intimacy, falling in love, connecting really deeply. Probably really like to fall in love. Do you see yourself as, like, what is your relationship to intimacy and being a partner? And just saying that intimate connection. Okay, so for Jesus, the Jesus card, that was very central to his purpose. And that's the word I've been wanting to bring into this about the composite with your karma card, is that it feels like it's really pointing to some kind of divine purpose, something that you're supposed to fulfill, something that might be a little edgy or uncomfortable for you. Jeannie, I know you've been playing with composites a lot. What framework or meaning would you put to this particular composite? So for you, it's that 5 of diamonds plus the 3 of clubs being the 7 of spades, faith. Achieving that faith, that very clear sense of definition, the rightness of things. And for Grumpy, I would say, how do you feel about that 2 of hearts? Right. It's in the circle of 7 for sure. So it's like, it's kind of heavy duty karma. Having a 7 of clubs moon card means we can have the worst internal thoughts. We tend to be super critical of ourselves. Yes, you do. And ruminate to death. So the 7 of spades allows us to detach in order to grow from it. And you know, the king of clubs, if you add the king of clubs to the 7 of clubs, you get the 7 of spades. And where does the king of clubs sit in the mundane spread? The Uranus position. So maybe developing an energy of neutrality, egalitarianness within yourself, become the detached observer with your own experience. Maybe there's something in that. So Grumpy says, this is more weird for me. How was 2 of hearts for you? Well, the 2 of hearts being my Saturn card has been my classroom. And for the first 44 years, it was hell. It was really hell. I mean, you know, I was the good little Christian girl who just thought I was going to stay with the first guy I married and have the white picket fence and the family and all of that. And it didn't work out that way. It was, it went from awakening to shit show to oh, it was really, really hard. And I have a lot of 9s in both hands. So I was here to complete a lot of karma with a lot of guys. And I got a gift from every single one of them. And I have remained on very good terms with all of them except one. Well, there was this other one where I just realized, ugh, yeah, that was icky. Never mind, not going to go there. But the 2 of hearts for me was very difficult, but the essence of the 2 of hearts for me is intimacy, and that's what Jesus came to demonstrate and offer. The veil, the curtain between the people and the Holy of Holies, you know, the access to God that only the priest would allow, which I think may have its roots in the Khazarian mafia. I think that may be indeed a very dark practice. I think Jesus inserted himself into the heart of the darkest group on the planet. Not going to go into that a lot because we know there's a difference between the Khazarian Mafia and the people they said they aligned with. I'm not even going to say who they are, but you know what I mean. But anyway, the veil ripped from the top to bottom saying, you now have access. He died on the cross. It tore. The curtain tore, and it was like layers and layers and layers. Every year they would add another layer, so that it was like ripping a phone book, and it came apart. And access to the Father, and you, as I'm one with the Father, so you are one with me, and we can all be together and eat together and sup together, and all be happy and have intimacy. I think intimacy with the divine and with the self, just the quality and the practice of intimacy. I think that's what the Two of Hearts is. And because it's been my Saturn, I've really honed it. And I always feel like an amateur. And it's my deal. Spiritual practice and meditation and prayer and connecting with God and all these things I come up with. It's like that's the most important thing in my life. And I still feel like an amateur, such an amateur, because it's my elementary, high school, college, graduate, and this is my deal. That's how I feel about the Two of Hearts. And yeah, intimacy in the heart. Two could be marriages in life, that's for sure. Yeah. Jeannie goes on about the Seven of Spades. Allows me to detach. It's what supports me. Okay, so this may be an answer to my question. How do you frame the Seven of Spades being the composite of your card and the karma card that sits on top of your card? It allows me to detach. It's what supports me. I detach, and then I do art. Anything with the hands, I'm able to take it and put it into art. That's the spade, the physical, so I don't have to feel my way through it. I can transmute it. Jeannie, that is so proactive. That is so proactive about like this uncomfortable work that Seven of Spades presents you with. And you're like, this is how I'm going to do it. I love that. Could it be two marriages in life? It could be. I'm on my third. We're not technically married. I mean, not officially. We're in Colorado. We are. We had a wedding and everything, but we didn't get the license. So technically, I still just have two marriages. Three of Clubs for me is all about what I can do with my hands, and it's alchemy. So what supports me is my ability to alchemize the energy, transmute, and transfer it into my arts. Very much the cards involved. Yes, I would say you really do bring a tangibility to the insights that you get. Yes. Excuse me. Oh, what was that about? Next? Next. He was scratching and then he wasn't there. Very strange. Anyhow, I should probably start to get ready for hubby getting home and going up into the mountains for a birthday adventure. Anybody else have anything else to say? That was really fun. That was interesting. You know, the thing with the cards is that you could take this teeny little slice and there's so much richness and depth. And that's something that I've learned in the last, partly just interfacing with Jeannie, to be honest, is to take a little slice and then slow way down and go way deep into the layers of it and really feel it. I had a youth pastor that gave me this analogy once, to savor it like a lifesaver on your tongue. Or like, what did we used to have? Those little, were they called lifesavers? And they were all the candy version. Oh, just think how toxic that is now. Sugar is so freaking bad for you. But to feel all the ridges and the textures with your tongue, to really, really know something. That's the Two of Hearts, I guess. To know something really, really intimately. So thank you all so much for your participation. I really hope I didn't skip anybody. This was not planned, and because my life has been sort of chaotic, I haven't gone on my Tuesday at 1. But Sharon and I have hooked up, and we were going to do, I was going to interview her, and then my daughter came to visit, and then she's like, no, I just really don't feel like giving an interview right now because I'm a 4 and I'm really moody, and it's just like, I'm just not really in that place. And I'm like, I can totally respect that. I don't go live if I'm not in that place. So I am making fun of her. But anyway, 7 of Spades allows me to detach. It's what supports me. Oh, right, the tangibility. Okay, I just have to scroll down. In the Tarot, the 7 of Swords steals some clubs so that they have nothing to fight their enemies with the next day. I think that that's very interesting, Grumpy, because I think the trap. Okay, I had a client, a low functioning 7 of clubs, and I finally had to cut her off. And she racked up this enormous bill with me, and then I had to just had to weasel it out of her tight little fist, and I got just a fraction of what she owed me. And I was like, no, I am done with you. And she always just wanted me to confirm for her what she was saying. And I learned a lot about don't caretake your clients. And if they can't handle that, you don't need them. They don't need you. They don't really want what you have to offer. So I ended up having to cut her off. But there was this stealing energy about her, wanting to steal, wanting to, oh, for me and mine and me. It was all a very narcissistic sort of, very needy, kind of a needy energy. And I think that that's the danger of a 7. Being a 7 of diamonds in my relationship to money throughout my life, there is a danger of believing that you have or are or deserve less. And then therefore there's this manipulative taking energy. So yeah, there is something to that, Grumpy. And if you do, it's like this karmic repercussion. Yeah. We're just leaving now, and my shoes blew out. I got to swing by Jack's real quick and get a replacement pair. My husband wears his clothing out like no one I've ever met. Speaking of the 3 of clubs, Jeannie, I feel like a lot of cardology books just say the same thing over and over in different ways. There is so much more that hasn't been written yet. Maybe that's just my 3 of clubs speaking. Yes, yes, yes. And Jeannie, we need you to write it. We need you to write it. And when the timing is right, you will know it and you will do it. And what is the 3 of clubs? It is both karma and ascending Jupiter. This is a calling that will bring you a lot of money. I really think you need to do this. And it gives me the freedom to retire. Have sense for Jeannie with what she said previously is a winter car where are not too many resources. This is the 7 of Spades, is the thief card. Wearing the clothes out is a 4 thing because they don't want change. Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Right, and the 4 of clubs would be his Mercury card, right? Or ascending moon. Yeah. Ooh, suddenly I'm really hungry. So, Grumpy, I think you're trying to ask Jeannie a question, and it just doesn't really make sense. Just take the time and type it out. Oh, winter card. Is it a winter card? You're talking about the tarot. Not too many resources. Have sense for Jeannie with what she said previously is a winter card where are not too many resources. This is the 7 of Spades, is the thief card. I don't know. I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes so that you guys can converse this out. Oh my God, I just realized I have a whole new thing now. I have a whole new spread. I no longer have the 2 of diamonds and the 5 of hearts. The 5 of hearts was my long range card last year. How could I sum that up? What did I achieve? Did I figure out what I really wanted? I have to move. This was the most intense year of personal growth I have ever had, and it accelerated and accelerated and accelerated. 2 days ago marked 3 months of quitting smoking, and it has felt like 3 years. I quit smoking a lot of times. And this has been the do your work version and work your way through boots on the ground with the whole dopamine thing and balancing your neurotransmitters. And oh, the intensity has just been off the scale. But see, I think everybody is, not everybody, but a lot of people are going through their own personal, not going to call it hell. It's like you're in the cauldron. You're in the cauldron. And like I was watching a video of somebody that normally gets 3,000 to 5,000 viewers in a live, and he just put the question out there, what's your personal hell right now? You wouldn't believe, I mean, you would believe some of the stuff that people were saying, I just got diagnosed, or, some really heavy shit. And I was like, oh, don't ever compare your difficulty with someone else's, because it takes you out of your difficulty. And that's where your work is. That's where you're supposed to stay. So, okay. Is for her comment. I'm in an amazing Ace of Hearts year. Great for new beginnings, and also entered your 4 of Diamonds 52-day period. Great way to start with strong, valuable foundations. Oh, I needed to hear that. Grumpy says the 7 of Spades allows me to detach. Okay, I'm just looking for where the 7 of Spades would be for you, Grumpy. But let's just see what he says. Allows me to detach. It's what supports me. I detach and then I do art, anything. Oh, he just repeated your comment. He reposted it. And in a new home, both cards. Okay, I gotta look up 59. So he's directing a question to you, Jeannie. Okay, 59. Jeez. This time next year, I've got Ace of Spades and 10 of Diamonds flanking me. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now I have the 4 of Diamonds. And is it the 4 of Hearts? According to Robert Camp, I mean, he does the vertical card. I would say 4 of Diamonds and then the 3 of Clubs on the other side. So, I've already decided I'm going to finish my book this winter. Above, it's not a question, skip it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the question, when am I moving? Uranus, Ace of Hearts. That's the new beginning. So my Uranus period indeed would be April 15th or April 24th. Yeah, I think it starts April 24th. And I've said if we spend the winter here, I would move in May. So I'm kind of excited about the possibility of moving next month because I found this great house in Bel Air, Michigan. Ascending, or keeping this Mars, Uranus, 6 of Diamonds. Neptune, 4 of Hearts, the house of my dreams. Ascending Pluto, Jack of Clubs. Expect the unexpected. I don't know. But anyway. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm finally going to go now. I love you guys. I'll see you later. And maybe it will be an interview with Sharon, the Six of Spades. What does it mean to be the Six of Spades? Next Tuesday at 1 Mountain Time. Bye-bye to all. See you all. See ya. Thanks for coming on happy birthday. Oh, you're so welcome. And it just felt right. Okay. Bye.